The Economist, known for its foreshadowing cover pictures, has published a new cover with a forecast. We see here a prediction of a colossal confrontation in 2024, the inclusion of new states in it, and the struggle in the technological, financial, political, and other spheres. I will try to comment on this puzzle. The picture itself is very binary, dialectic, and oversaturated with unnecessary details. It's quite an example of how to tell simple things in complex language, the structure of a round puzzle. The painting is divided vertically. On the left is the Western community, on the right is the Eastern community. Each of the vertical halves is in turn divided into 3 elements. There are 6 elements in total, which is emphasized by the central, the ballot box. All the elements of West and East are horizontally opposed on 3 levels, upper, from left to right, Zelensky and Putin's war. The middle one is the main field of events, the elements of confrontation. Lower, fundamental, Biden and Xi and their economies. These 3 horizontal levels are separated by stripes of circles. The upper circles are black and white, 17 pieces. Similar to the images of eclipses, the left and right parts are mirrored. The lower circles have chromaticity, they are not mirrored, also 17 pieces. The most important elements of the diagram are connected by threads. This is the key. Top. From Zelensky's head, the thread goes to the woman and the bombs, and to the expiring hourglass, and from them to the election bin. Next to it is a separate thread from the missiles to the question mark, from Putin's head to Trump and the dove of peace, and to the expiring hourglass, and from it to the election bin. Next to it, there is a separate thread from rockets to the question mark sign, the potential for Armageddon. We pay attention to the black and white circles under Zelensky-Putin. The only thread that leads to them comes from the hourglass. That is, everything is unclear here until a certain time, and this time seems to depend on the outcome of the confrontation, and on some kind of eclipse. The band of black and white circles strongly resembles a lunation pattern. At the point of eclipse, the line from the clock joins the top of the hexagonal star of the elections, the meaning of the upper part. The struggle between Russia and Ukraine ends in 2024. Zelensky is influenced by a woman, wife, and in his head is the desire to bomb. Putin is influenced by Trump, perhaps because of the question sign, and has a desire for peace in his head. Space technology plays a huge role, perhaps just a hint at rockets. Bottom. Biden, USA, is based on the extraction of resources, wind energy. There is little of it, a small cube with the symbol of electricity. But there are gray squares. These are technologies that rise to the top with the complication of the drawing. The leftmost part with wind power ends with a question mark. And through the technology in Biden's head, the threads lead upwards to a strip of blue-red circles. From Biden, the threads also go to the problem areas of South America and Oceania, located just between him and Xi Jinping. Xi Jinping, China, is also based on the extraction of resources, energy of the burning type, and affecting world warming, the use of cars, electricity a lot. There are also gray squares of increasingly complex technologies, but unlike in the United States, they are horizontal. They do not create something new. Its energy and technological part also comes to a question mark. From Xi, the threads lead to the upper blue-red circles, and at the bottom to the problem areas of the world. Both leaders turn their backs on each other. It is worth noting that from the Chinese bloc, the thread goes up only from Xi's head. Apparently, his tyranny is emphasized. There are 2 threads coming from the United States, from Biden's head, and from high technology. The interpretation of the lower part, the confrontation will unfold in Oceania and South America. Technology will have enormous power. The presidents will refuse contacts. Cataclysms are possible. Hurricanes in the United States and fires in China, each has corresponding icons. The center, or middle, part of the diagram, the white central strip is the most curious. This is the main field of events, since the parties mentioned are simply actors. This is the confrontation itself. At the heart of the scheme is the ballot box, which is affected by only 2 things. From above, at its zenith, is the thread from the eclipse and the expiring hourglass of war, Zelensky, Putin. And at the bottom, there is a double question mark, with threads from the lower colored circles. The left, western side has 6 high-tech squares and 4 brains. The bottom thread leads to it from the vertical technology of the United States and Biden's head. This is the creation of an artificial intelligence capable of becoming a digital god, a symbol of the all-seeing eye, the eye of a demon. There are two question marks around. The right, eastern side has a thread only from Xi's head and leads to the bricks, 10 bricks on the side of the chart of falling markets, and one special, the lowest one. In 2024, there will be a total of 11 members of the organization. From bricks, specifically from the Chinese embedded brick, the thread leads to a graph of the collapse of the global financial system. There are 4 symbols of Western currencies, and also 2 question marks. Blue and red have been the 2 colors of action since the time of Mahabharata. In this scheme, it seems to be an emphasis on age, red being younger. Interpretation of the central part of the diagram. There will be no military component in the upcoming confrontation. The territories of struggle will be Oceania, Taiwan and Australia, and South America. But the main actions of the parties at this time will be different. China will wage economic warfare and bring down Western competitors. And the US will strive to create technological superiority and control the world with the help of artificial intelligence. What does this diagram in Economist may mean? In 2024, the world will face a choice. The Economist shows that the outcome of the election is uncertain. We must remember that in 2024, there will be civil elections in very important countries of the planet: the United States, Russia, Canada, Ukraine, Taiwan, Belarus, Germany, Turkey, the UN Security Council, and dozens of other countries around the world. But that's not even what we're talking about here. The pedestal of the planet's hegemon has been emptied, and the struggle is going on for it, and the entire lower part of the diagram speaks of a non-equilibrium state, the impossibility of determining the winner. If everything is predetermined at the top, and only the hourglass counts down the time of the final, the hexagon of the urn in the center has no question marks at the top. Everything is shaky down there. Question marks surround the Biden and Xi economies. Also surrounded by question marks are US AI and China's economic warfare. The battle will unfold all-encompassing, in the sphere of high technology, in the economy, in the struggle for raw material flows, for transport trade routes, for the states of Oceania and South America, a global showdown. Moreover, disaster warnings can have a technological basis. Hurricanes in the United States and fires in China may well turn out to be man-made. The picture as a whole shows us the immense significance of 2024, which will finally determine the winner in the global battle for the podium. Will the US be able to keep up with the creation of overwhelming artificial intelligence? Will China be able to crash Western currencies and topple competitors? And what, in the end, will affect the elections in these countries? The Economist does not predict, it just signifies. It is also worth mentioning that The Economist, both in name and in its essence, is an obvious structure of the rotten fishes on which the information works. I also found it strange that The Economist does not mention the war for 2024, which is gradually flaring up in the heart of the rotten fish in the Middle East, in Israel. But it seems to me that it should not be underestimated, and its influence in 2024 and beyond will be quite significant. I think that we can safely correct the forecast of The Economist because it does not take into account the most important thing, the expanding war of the epochs, Aquarius versus Pisces. The lunation icons at the top of The Economist's picture are very curious. By the way, my recent article, Eclipse of the 14th of October 2023, Problems for the United States, just described that the United States found itself in the rarest situation, in the crosshairs of eclipses, the shadows of which will pass through its territory in October 2023 and April 2024, and are quite capable of creating a lot of problems for this country.